We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity with business owners, specifically recruiting. So what'd you think? What'd you think of the first video? Sorry. What did you think of the first video?
I liked it.
What'd you like about it?
Just all the information that you put out there is the connected dots. I think I have a little bit of a struggle with yet. Probably to paint a picture, but the other two, yeah. I don't know. It was just a lot of good information for me.
Which is interesting, isn't it, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Does everybody else find it as interesting as I do?
Why do you find it interesting?
Good, Adam. Go ahead. Somebody else?
Probably not.
Okay. Who on this podcast is should be the most interested in recruiting of anybody?
Probably me.
Oh, good. What's that? So,
Hold it. You should.
so who am I thinking should be the most interested in this? And then who am I thinking is the second most interested in this? Should be.
Me and Melissa.
And who's first?
Me,
Why?
because I need it.
Okay. Why am I thinking Melissa, is first?
So she has more time with me.
No, definitely not.
Because the ads are ran through her name. When people
Hey,
call,
that's good. I hadn't thought of that. That's good. Good. See, Luke's doing number 3. He's connecting the dots. I didn't connect those dots. So good. No, I was thinking something nefarious. See, sometimes people in podcasts have a hard time with my sense of humor. You're all supposed to say what? Like what? Like you gotta get the what? Like what do you mean? Like what do you mean? Right? So the reason that Melissa, the reason Melissa goes ahead and should be the most interested far more than Jason is because her two daughters don't want a mom who's in prison.
I could bill her out if necessary.
I'm pretty sure you can't.
Is that a humor or is that information?
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying, Adam. Right. Well, you're her dad. So see, let me paint a picture for you guys because I'm not, not. If Jason doesn't hire people that do the work so he doesn't have to end up doing more work, what is Melissa going to do?
Kill Jason.
Going to kill Jason. Now, she does live in Amish territory. And so, will she talk with a bunch of other, women and wives and and say, I don't know what happened to my husband. He had a heart attack, but he's 3. Yeah, I don't know. He just died. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, she's going to kill him if he does not go ahead and invest the time into the marriage and her children that he needs to. He will cease to live. So I can see why Jason might think I need to be more interested than Melissa is because he wants to live. And that's a fair statement. So, Jason's buying a company, and as of this point, he needs to replace, a team of 6 people. Now, all 6 of them have said they're going to retire, or one going to college, and so they all have, so they're all leaving. But when I go ahead and have lunch with them, that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing they all want to stay. So when I first started Synergy Solution years ago, our first hire was Matt Maple, and I had 3 partners at the time, and they owned another company, and then they owned 51% of Synergy, and so they went ahead and I interviewed Matt, and he took a position higher pay than we were offering. He went ahead and bigger company, better benefits, better everything, and he said, "Yeah, I'd like to, but I'm not." And when they heard that, they're saying, "Mark, you must be disappointed." You must. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not disappointed." They're like, "You're not?" I'm like, "No, he's gonna join us." And this was at 27 years old. So if you're thinking, well, when I'm 60, like Mark is now, I'll be as good as a recruiter as he is when I'm 60. You won't unless you're as good as a recruiter when I was 27 and 24 and 17 and 15. Like, you won't if you don't do that, unless you listen to me, because I had to learn it pretty much all on my own. I can coach you, mentor you, and teach you how to do this. And so, so none of you after the post show of the last one, like, why is it so interesting that Cheryl seems to be the one that got the most out of that? Why is that weird? She's looking at starting a company. Jason has to have employees. He has to, or contractors. He's got to have people. Cheryl doesn't have to have them. Like, Cheryl doesn't need them. She needs to get herself on track and moving. She doesn't have to have team members. So she doesn't have to have employees. So why is it that she doesn't have to have them? And he's the one. Well, there he is. Hi, CJ, buddy. How are you?
Mark.
Yeah. I think you want to be a recruiting monster too, and you could be. Let me tell you, you and I could do a video together, and it would do recruiting. His friendliness, his curiosity. Study CJ. I'm serious. I'm not joking. Study him. Study how he interacts, because he can teach you things that nobody else can teach you. So Cheryl, like, why does she not need it? Why is she potentially one that needs it the least, but she's the one that got the most out of it? Like, that makes no sense. Nobody knows.
Is it because that I could still benefit from this when I'm talking with people, and like, biggest challenge is getting them to get, I don't know the words I want.
So does anybody see what I see now?
What do you see?
Anybody?
Probably not.
See, Cheryl's connecting the dots that none of you are. See, Cheryl's doing something that is very unusual for people to do. They just don't do it. They just don't do it. This is one of the things that frustrates me the most about women in business, is they don't see, if they're moms especially, like if they're moms in business, and like my wife was a stay-at-home mom, like, you know, all the time we had the 7 kids. And moms often don't connect the dots between business and children. They don't understand you are a business owner if you have children. And you don't get to choose. I love when the kids go ahead. My kid said, Dad, I didn't choose to be born. I'm like, I didn't choose to have you as a child either. I was just given the child. Like, let me tell you. And so Cheryl saw the benefit. So a lot of you are looking at recruiting and you're not looking at the benefit. So Adam got, his income increased by 400%. His revenue for his business increased by 400%. Boom, just happened. Just bam, happened. Now he wants to do it over 200%. So this, if he can get to a 10 on this, Cheryl, 1 to 10, how would you rate the first podcast?
1 to 10, a 10.
Yeah. Okay. Be more aggressive next time. I didn't think anybody had a 10. So Cheryl, what she's able to do is she's able to see bigger picture. She's able to see, I'm not doing recruiting, but what Mark is sharing applies to what I'm doing. Like this is like, I can see this applies. So she can see she's not tunnel vision. So
Hey,
that tip, go ahead.
I'm on that ball. Thanks.
She's able to go ahead and see something bigger. She's able to see how it impacts her. Adam, if he gets to a 10, it'll help him take his 400% increase in business and turn it into another 200% increase in business, which will
Yeah.
be 500% increase in business from the original, what he started with. And so if he connects the dots there, Jason says that he wants to go ahead and be with his wife and kids. His wife might question that at times, but if we take him at his word, if he doesn't get to a 10 and understand the importance of this, he's not going to be able to go ahead and spend the time with his wife and kids that he wants to. If he doesn't understand this, like if he doesn't pay attention and see this, so he's going to end up, if he doesn't understand the benefit of this, he's going to end up like most business owners end up, they don't really own a company, they own a job. That's where he's going to end up. I mean, he's bought this big company and he's got 1,500 clients, and man, is he learning, and he loves to learn. So he's just in heaven. He could go ahead and spend 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day because he loves to learn. He loves to serve people. So he loves to do those 2 things, but over time, those things are going to get tiresome and they're going to become a burden. Melissa wants her husband home, and she wants, her husband around for her 2 girls and the new little one that's coming along. She wants him to go ahead and have that. If he doesn't see this as a 10 on impact, it's up to him to make it a 10. It's not up to me. See, I can't make it a 10 for you. You're the only one that can make it a 10. What do you want? So Cheryl wants independence and freedom. So she sees this as a 10. She gains a 10 in value. This will be a defining moment for her. This training, this video, this podcast, this podcast will change her life forever. Because she's making it change her life forever. It's not me that's doing it, it's her. Adam, he wants to. Jason and Melissa, you guys have got to make it a 10. Elaine, what are you thinking right now?
Well, I guess for me, it was a 10 all along, but I just didn't I wanted their opinion, not just mine.
So what you and Cheryl can do is you're right in holding back. Because you don't want somebody to just be a 10 to match your 10. It's not a competition. If they're not really at a 10, why was it a 10 for you, Elaine?
Well, because everything you said in what I've been doing so far, has just reinforced more of what I've seen. It's your significance. If you can't figure out why you're doing something or what it's going to benefit you in the long run, then out of doing what you need to do.
Right? It's like our
then-
children, right, Elaine? Or our
Yeah.
grandchildren. When they don't want to do something and their shoulders go down, they get all droopy and they're like, okay, fine. I'll go ahead and, clean the kitchen. I'll clean my room. I'll pick up my toys. Like everything goes down and they're like they have no energy. And so, sometimes I hear rumors that husbands do that to their wives. This is not a good thing as a husband to do. Like, it's just not. Sometimes there might be some wives that do this to their husbands. This is not good for a marriage when, and so it's like, I don't know how, if anybody's on, anybody that's on this podcast, okay, if you ever have a chance to go ahead and see Cheryl or Elaine speak, like at an event, attend. I'm just telling you. I'm
What?
just telling
Say that
you.
again, please.
If anybody who's listening to this podcast has an opportunity to attend an event where Cheryl or Elaine are the speakers, attend the event.
Okay,
I'm just saying, if you have a chance to go ahead and attend a coffee connection with Elaine or Cheryl, if you have an opportunity to go ahead and get on a podcast or to join on a phone call or something. Like these two ladies, like they have things that very few people on the planet have. I know this because I'm an international speaker. I say that. I've writing my 18th book, with Elaine, Clean Windows, learning to see things we can't see. So I've traveled all over the world, met with, top level thought leaders in government and in business all around the world. I say that not to impress you. I'm not impressed by that. I say that so you have context. So you have context. So you understand, and I'm a driver. I don't say things to say things. So I would go ahead and enjoy being in a room and having a conversation as much with Cheryl and Elaine as I would Tom Coons. Tom would enjoy Cheryl and Elaine a lot. Peter Miles would enjoy, Cheryl and Elaine a lot. Past board member of BMW, past president of Rolls-Royce. When I was invited to the White House, so these ladies have something that's very, very special. You can learn how to have this specialness in you if you're willing to understand the significance, the crazy question, crazy curiosity, to connect the dots and paint the picture. Jason, any other questions that you have?
No, not really questions. I don't think.
Melissa, anything else you have?
No.
So the energy is the first thing, the essence of it. Make sure you're feeling it. Make sure you're feeling it. And then what we'll do in the next podcast, I think what we're going to do in the next podcast is talk about the 3 minutes. So talk about the 3 minutes. And so I believe there's going to be an interview that I'm going to do with Jason and Melissa this coming Monday. And so you guys will want to come prepared for the next one to try to translate what happened in the first 3 minutes, and then what happened in the next 11 minutes, and then what happened in the next 16 minutes. And it's weird. Like, it's not always 3 minutes. Sometimes it might be 3.5 minutes. It's not always 11 minutes. Once in a while, it might be 12 minutes. It's not always 16 minutes. Maybe it's 15 minutes, but it's pretty much 3, 11, and 16. It's a system, it's a machine, but it's so polished, it's so powerful that the person literally becomes hypnotized, mesmerized by it, where they've never been part of anything. They've never participated in anything like it. They're like, I've never, ever experienced an interview like this before, Mark. And that's the experience that you want to have. And that's all over the phone or a Zoom call. It's not even in person. Anybody have any questions or closing thoughts on this? Okay.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, connect with the individual. Make sure you go ahead and register. Don't be, in the audience. Don't be a spectator in this. Be a participant. Get on the field, engage. If you think you're not a recruiter, you are. You just are. You just take your energy. So join the Life GPS mobile app. It's free. There's no cost. Takes a couple minutes. You'll be introduced to somebody who can go ahead and help you to become a participant. Take it. Like, you might not understand it. You might not connect some of the dots. You might have questions. You might think, who is this weird guy? It's okay. And they'll go ahead and you'll be introduced to somebody in the group, and that'll help you get the most out of the group. To get the most out of this, let me tell you, even if you're hiring one person a year, you need a recruiting system, because recruiting system can be used not only for employees or contractors, but it can be used for clients. It can be used for profitable partnerships. It can be used for all kinds of things. So what we're going to learn is going to be substantial. Any questions, connect with the individual, invited you to participate, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300, outside the US 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.